Welcome to Did You Say Something, the variety podcast where I try greatly to stay relevant in voice acting and in life in general. Really, this is my last chance. Help me. I cannot think of where my life would be without Matt, and Jake is at least kinda here. I really have nothing else. Well, here we go. You got this, Con. You got this.
Fight!
Kind of a big deal. So couldn't resist with my co-host Ron Burgundy over here.
The colonials are acting up again. Damn it!
Shut up, Connor.
No comment.
I'm really just trying to make money off of Connor here.
You're right, but you're out of line.
Trying to have this not devolve into chaos.
I don't even know if there's anything usable in this. Some of it my fault.
Always have to have the last word. I'm Connor.
Hello and welcome to Did You Say Something? If you like what we do here over on DYSS, please be sure to give us a like, share and subscribe over on YouTube, Spotify, wherever you're listening or watching to us, because it massively helps us get out there into the algorithm so more people can tune in and suffer through the chaos just as we do. You know, if you think that Carlo really does talk too much, leave a comment, let us know. If you think that Matt is a better voice actor than me, like this video. And hey, if you think I'm better than Matt, then do the most important thing and subscribe. Thank you very much.
For the sake of our podcast, please subscribe, but we all know.
Even Matt admits that I am better.
Thanks for finishing my sentence for me, dear. Yeah, we know what the real thing is, but, you know, as per that intro, just help the guy out a little bit. He needs something.
To be fair, that does tie us in quite nicely to the topic for today's episode. Something quite close to Matt and mine's cold, dead bits here where a heart should be, and that is mental health. I know that I think we talking about mental health on one of our episodes and spent an hour on the phone, and at that point we were like, yes, this needs to be on the show. So we're going to try and lean a little bit towards the voiceover side of things. We're going to try and lean a little bit towards the men's mental health side of things, just because we are voice actors and we are men, so we can talk with a little bit more confidence on that. But we will be talking mental health on the whole. For those of you that don't know, emotions, I struggle talking about emotions and feelings, but we're going to laugh, we're going to get through this, and Jake is nodding because, well, he's had to put up with my shit for the last 4 years now.
Hell, I've had to put up with your shit for like the last 4 months, and it feels like 4 years.
I struggle with talking about mental health, and I'm sure as many of our listeners and watchers, I also struggle with my mental health. You know, I like to laugh and joke and all that stuff, but yeah, in here ain't exactly fun. You know, it's something that's quite rife throughout the voiceover community is imposter syndrome. And that's something I struggle with massively. Why am I trying to do this? Why am I trying to succeed? I'm never going to be good enough. Why am I succeeding? Why are people coming to me? There's plenty of other people better than me, just not this guy.
Again, give him something.
I mean, I do jest. You are an good voiceover artist.
Sorry, did you just have a stroke? What just happened right there?
I think I might have.
That was really hard for you to get out, but I appreciate the compliment.
You are welcome.
Viewers, that is Connor's attempt at being healthy with mental health. Just so you know.
Okay, thank you. As for someone who's had to put up with that brain for a long time for the translation, Jake, I'm going to need a lot of that episode. I think.
That's why Jake's on this episode, so he can translate what I try to say into stuff that actually makes sense. Matt, I'm going to throw it over to you to do some talking real quick whilst I compose myself.
The imposter syndrome is a great place to start because I feel that greatly myself, where oddly enough, even just last night, I just got offered a book deal through ACX. And even when I got the email, it was immediately, is this real? Like, is this a mistake, right? Like, how am I landing that? How did they pick me amongst all these other amazing narrators out there? Because there's so many. You guys wouldn't believe how many people audition for the same thing. So when you do, get a role or you book something, that's absolutely there for everybody. I think to tie into what we're talking about, it's so much harder when you are already struggling in your personal life with your own just general confidence and belief in yourself, so that when something good does happen, it's almost too hard to believe. And unfortunately, sometimes we will sabotage ourselves in that way, where we don't show up the way that we know we actually can, or the way that others believe that we can. Obviously, they saw something in us. That's why we booked it. They heard something that they really liked. Once we get it, I myself had a couple times where then all of a sudden my performance wasn't as good as even the audition, because of my confidence in the fact that I actually booked it, and it's not a joke. I'm not on an episode of Punked or something like that. And I think that unfortunately the imposter syndrome doesn't just hit us in the voiceover thing; it hits us in life too, right? Like maybe you get a promotion, a new job, something like that happens, and you're thinking, did I earn this? Do I deserve this? Am I good enough to do this? And Connor, like you were saying with the booking and things like that, especially with the voiceover, where you said, there's so many other amazing talents out there. Why did they pick me? And there's not, and it's hard to get past just being happy that they picked us and being ecstatic that we booked something. We unfortunately will immediately jump to why and immediately question ourselves. I don't know about you, but sometimes even just basic compliments, I find myself questioning. And I know that sounds weird, but honestly, somebody's like, oh, you look nice today. And I'm like, really? You know what I mean? I can't just jump right into that.
It's not weird. It's not weird. I do the exact same. I struggle massively when people try to give me compliments. Like, when first starting out with the voiceover stuff and the narration and figuring out how my voice works and all of this sort of stuff, and people starting to say, "You sound really good." No, I don't. What are you on about? Shut the fuck up. No, you really do. It's like, please, I've listened to this voice for 30 odd years. Like, it's whiny, it's annoying. Who the fuck would want me to read anything for them ever? And yeah, it's really hard to try and change that narrative within your own mind to actually see what other people see. I massively struggle with it. Why I've got authors coming to me and saying, "Oh, will you read this?" It still baffles me.
I think something to go off of that, Connor, is everything has a balance, right? If you can get to a point where the imposter syndrome is similar to humility, we should definitely be proud and know that we're good voice actors and know that we're doing good work. And that's why we're booking. And that's what we're talking about, right? Is believing in that. But, when you believe your own hype too much, obviously that goes too far. And then you believe that I should be booking everything and I'm the best voice actor out there. And there's no way that people are getting jobs above me, which is asinine to have that mentality. It really, really is. And anything we do in life, it's asinine to have that type of mentality.
To be fair, arrogance is something you come up against in all walks of life. There are definitely arrogant people out there. And what gets me with it is you get people that aren't so confident in themselves, that are suffering with imposter syndrome massively at that specific point. And they come across these arrogant people that are like, yeah, I know I'm the fucking best. That doesn't help with that confidence at all, because you're comparing yourself to somebody that believes themselves to be the best. Don't let that put you off. Audition for it, because chances are you'll probably do better. I think what's important to remember is that you're not going to book 100% of the roles 100% of the time, because there'd be no need for all of us voice actors if there was one person who was right for every role. And just because you're not booking doesn't mean you're shit, doesn't mean this, doesn't mean that. It just means you haven't found the right project. Or you are shit. But,
Excuse me.
What?
I was going to say something nice to you, but...
Oh, no.
Okay. So anytime I try to compliment Connor or do something, he generally just feels that instinct to just take me out. And there's that, right in a different direction. Exactly, Jake.
Spider-Man has this spider sense.
Happen, so he intercepts it and then just ruins it. And this is why we talk about Connor's mental health.
Spider-Man has spider sense. I have compliment sense, and I don't like it.
You have no sense.
Hey, there we go.
When it comes to complimenting Connor, I generally have to ask him first if it's okay to compliment him.
Yeah, you have done that. Hey, can I be real with you for a second? Like real. I need to compliment you. Oh God, why? Is usually the standard response, followed by a just make it quick.
There's zero confidence for yourself, Connor. But man, when it comes to just shucking me off your shoulder or anything like that, you're just 100% the most confident man that I've ever seen. Which actually is a good segue into more of this. Is it's interesting for those of us who struggle with mental health a lot, and we all do to a degree. Let's be honest. Mm-hmm. Every human being struggles. And we are kind of focused on a lot of men's mental health, and we do struggle. And that there's been more awareness and things like that in the past years, but that's part of why we're doing this, is to really drive more, not just awareness, but actually action towards doing something about it. And we'll get into some more of that later in the show about what we're doing for that. But it's that some of the most confident people you see on the exterior are not okay. Right. And honestly, like, that's a very real thing. A lot of people who exude that they're the most confident guy in the room, they walk in, they own the room, and they show that, that it's that quote unquote alpha male mentality or whatever. Right. When at home and in their private moments and when they're sitting by themselves, they're some of the most broken people. Some of the people who make you laugh a lot, some of the people who are fun to be around, life of the party, which is, I guess, this. If I don't know what kind of parties you go to, but that's not my kind of party. That's a shit party.
That's because we drink alcohol and you don't.
Zero. Ding, ding, mental health warning. My mental health has been great since I quit drinking alcohol.
Good.
Just saying.
I'm genuinely,
but then I exchanged that with Connor's friendship, and I would almost rather go back to drinking. So all the joking aside, I think that's very true in what Connor's saying about himself and about myself as well. Is you may see things and have conversations with us and think they're good, they're feeling great, they seem so happy and everything's so good in their lives. And, people would look at Connor and be like, yeah, he is a part of these major audio dramas and is doing books and is working with Bewildered Biscuit and doing all these things. And it's super awesome. In personal, private conversations with Connor, it is awesome, but that doesn't mean that the base core person is not struggling.
Yeah. So the private conversations, yes, I am involved in all this stuff. And unfortunately, everything is stacked up on top of each other with very similar deadlines. And I'll be honest, I haven't had a proper day off in months, which I know a lot of us don't. And some people can work like that. Some people prefer it that way. I myself, I'd like to be busy, but taking some time for me is also very, very important. And I have not been able to do that. And it's only been within the last 2 weeks that I've realized, I am struggling a little bit with all of this, and the pressure is getting to me. I have had to turn down some work as well recently that I was this close to saying yes to, but after a chat with these two fuckers, realized no, because that will be too much. Yes, you wanna grab the work whilst it's coming in, obviously, but not to the point where you're just gonna fuck yourself over, because you're not going to be good to anybody if you can only give 25% of your energy and 25% of your effort to a project. That's not why people want you. They want you to give 100%. And if you can't, or you don't feel like you're going to be able to because you've got so much other shit going on, be brave and say, I'm really sorry, no, but I would happily work with you in the future if things align better.
Yeah, to your point, when you're doing too much, every project is going to suffer. You are not going to be able to put your all into any of it, and all of it's going to downgrade quite a bit. And then all of a sudden, you're in a worse position because then the product that you're putting out isn't as good, which our product as voice actors, it's our representation. It's what people go off of. So a lot of the times we'll throw out, we make demos, we do things like that, right? Which is a nice little intro teaser into what you can do. But when somebody books you for a project, and especially books, I mean, audiobooks are a big deal and they take a long time and there's a lot of effort that goes in. There's one that we've talked about a couple times on this show that Con's been doing, Dragon's Den, and I helped him, listen to some of that, and it was great. But man, that's a lot of characters. There's several characters, different voices. They have backgrounds. You have to pay attention to all of that. There's a lot going on. And if you are unfortunately focused on, okay, well, today I'm going to record 2 hours of this, and then I got to jump off of that because then I have to get these lines in for this project, and then I got to get these lines in for this other project. You end up mixing characters, you lose energy, your focus drops down. There's a lot, and I'm saying that from experience for myself because I'm currently sitting in a similar position to Connor, where I have a lot going on, and unfortunately it's all due at about the exact same time. So it's trying to squeeze all this in. And as much as we would love to be doing this full time, we don't. We have full-time day jobs as well. So it's working all of that, dealing with the stress of that job, trying to maintain all of that because, at least here in the States, I have insurance and things that I have to pay for so that I make sure that my family has medical. And my son has an immune deficient disease. So it's something that, insurance is so important to us, and we have to have it. So that stress, plus the stress of doing these projects, plus the stress of doing them properly and putting our all into them, it's a lot. And I would equate it to what you're saying, Connor, as I kind of understand, is it's like we're always in this raging river, right? And we have a pretty good raft, but sometimes, you're in the harder rapids, and other times you're off in a kind of a cool little swelling pool, you know what I mean, or something like that, where you get a little bit of a break. But that doesn't mean that the traffic stops. You know what I mean? That water is always raging, always flowing, and then you're in different points of it. And I feel like I hear you in the last couple of weeks, something with it, and it's not just the projects we're both involved in. It's just in general, I feel like I quite literally, and many of you, almost all of you probably feel this way. I feel like I need 57 hours in a day to even address everything that's going on. And I find myself looking at sitting down to finally relax for a little bit after a long day of work and recording and family and all of that. And I just find myself staring at all of the shit that I wasn't able to get to. There's the lawn that I haven't mowed in 2 weeks because I just don't have time. And then there's this project and this project, and I'm supposed to go on a vacation with my wife, and good luck on that. And I've got kids starting school soon. And then these, all these different projects that I'm in as a personal voice actor, but then, shooting DYSS, working in Bewilder Biscuit, working stuff for Interface Broken. There's just so much. And unfortunately, like I was talking about earlier, things are suffering a bit. Things you don't get to suffer, and you don't get to them, and you miss opportunities and such. So bring it back to what you said, having to turn down work for your mental health is probably a good thing, that you're not piling on yourself like that when the pile's already heavy as hell.
And I think and what you don't realize until it's too late is that all of that stuff then bleeds into personal life, all work related stuff. So last weekend I had my boys, and I was just grumpy and stressed the entire fucking weekend. They weren't even doing anything wrong. They could just be sat there quietly coloring, but the pen's scratching too loud, and that would be enough to make me go, can you just stop for 5 minutes? They'd done nothing wrong. And it was only when I was driving back that I was like, stressed. So, I have taken it slightly easier this week on the voiceover projects, which, with deadlines and all that isn't probably the best thing to do. But for mental health, it's got to be done. Like this weekend, I've been much happier. I've actually, rather than staying up until midnight to try and get stuff done, I've been going to bed 10:30, 11. Just that extra hour has done me wonders, and not staying up till whatever time to talk to this fucking pretty decent guy. Yeah, weren't expecting that, were you, motherfucker? Yeah, it's tough. And I think what's important in all of this is to remember to talk to people. Because, I mean, like I said, I only really feel comfortable talking about the men's mental health side of stuff. That's not to alienate. It's just the stuff I know. But in a study that was done, 40% of men don't talk about their feelings because, like, what's the point? I think the most common response was, I've learned to deal with it myself, followed up by, I don't want to be a burden to anyone. Because as men, we're providers, right? And that's what we do. We provide. We don't want to be seen as weak or whatever it is that society dictates that having emotions is. But that's part of the fucking problem.
Well, yeah, that's a massive part of the problem. To build on what you're saying, I think it was about 6 months ago-ish. I'm just flipping through TikTok, looking at stuff. And this was shortly after Dax's song came out, To Be a Man, which is just absolutely encapsulates so much of what we are talking about. And even and I'll get back to what I was saying, but even that, I showed that song to my wife and she's like, is that how men really feel? And I said, yeah. She didn't even know. You know what I mean? And mainly because, bless her, she's not like that. You know what I mean? She doesn't treat me that way. She actually gives a damn about my feelings and knows that I have them.
What's that like?
So I love you, buddy.
Get real close to the fucking line, buddy. If we were next to each other, I'd slap you on that fucking bald head of yours.
I wish this was a live episode.
Soon.
Someday soon, hopefully.
But to go along with that song, so like I said, all that was coming out, and then I do give some credit to Dax there because obviously the awareness was starting to come out more so in the last couple of years. His song greatly helped a lot of people realize that and helped a lot of men express that. I was able, like I said, I showed that song to my wife. I shared that song everywhere. Like, look, people, like this is how we feel. The majority of us. And then there was this collaboration video, and it was just a montage. And I think there was like 30 different guys on there, and people just ask them, like, who do you talk to when you're lonely? Who do you talk to when you're feeling down and all that? And every response is fucking nobody. Nobody gives a shit. That was the big one that hit me when the guy was like, fucking nobody. Nobody gives a shit. No one cares. No one's there to listen. And that's partially true. It's better now. There are people and there are services, there are things out there, but it's not even, hasn't been to the last couple of years, even advertised to men. Like, hey, there's help. Please, like, go talk about this. Because of then going back to what you were saying, society says, oh, you're being a little bitch. You're weak. You're soft. You're crying. You little bitch. Get up. Stop crying. Stop worrying about your feelings. Like, you're a man. What you feel, swallow that down. Like bury that. You can deal with that when you're dead. There's the way that a lot of us were raised. Our father figures were like, stop crying. You're being a little baby. Like, we don't cry. And that's the worst thing, right? For any human being. I don't care what's in between your legs or how you identify. You have to express emotion. Right.
Oh, 100%.
And that's part of the new narrative is like, I've tried to teach my kids and my son, like, cry. If you want to cry, cry. There's nothing wrong with it. Express your emotion, get that out. Cause trust me, when you hear about the next section of what we're talking about and it's the result of men not being able to talk about these feelings and what happens after it's gone too far. And if we don't get it out in some way, even if it's bullshitting with our buddies, if we don't get this out, it's going to end, if you catch my drift, one way or another. You know what I mean? I know, Connor, you got some statistics and stuff like that. You mentioned one earlier, right? But if you want to get into any of that now, I think now would be a good time, and we can kind of segue into what the unfortunate result of this just not caring how men feel, what's really happening in the world.
So, yeah, I mean, yeah, we may as well get into it. Fuck your trigger warnings because it's suicide. TikTok desensitizes suicide, killing, murder, all that stuff. And I can understand why, because it needs to be a friendly space for all. But by taking away those words, you take away some of the impact, and getting banned for saying the word suicide when trying to talk about mental health, men's mental health, the impacts of not being able to express your emotions, feeling like you have nowhere to go and nothing else to do. Like, that's suicide is what that leads to. And to say, oh yeah, unaliving just makes it seem like such a less serious issue than it is. In the United Kingdom, because obviously that's where I am, in the UK, in 2022, there were 5,642 registered deaths by suicide in England and Wales, equating to an average of 15 suicides a day. 74.1% of suicides in England and Wales in 2022 were men. Like,
And it's sinking in. Those are some pretty crazy numbers.
And, you know, I've been close. Fuck it. 2022, worst year of my life. Yeah, so I'm gonna need a minute. No. Get back in there.
Get back in there.
In the theme of this, suck it up, man up.
Fuck you.
We're going to give Connor a minute here. This is the reality we're talking about. When he said, fuck your trigger warning. Seriously. This is real stuff. I mean, we're sitting here on our show and doing this, and he talks about it, and it gets to him. What he's doing right now is what he should be doing, is expressing. It's hard. He doesn't want to do it on the show, but guess what? Life doesn't give a shit about what's going on right now and how you feel about what's a convenient time to cry or what's a convenient time to feel these feelings. And I'm right there with you, man. It's I will fully admit it. I've been there several times in my life. There have been quite a few times where I have I've quite literally and figuratively had my finger on the trigger. Or had something in my hand, or had something that was there. This shit is real, people. Like, and we understand that this is real for everyone. Every human being gets this. We are just really trying to focus on men because this is the group that gets neglected the hardest for it. I mean, can you imagine right now if, in all seriousness, Connor's feeling the way that he's feeling, and I told him to man the fuck up and stop being a bitch? The guy's talking about offing himself and how that affects him in his heart, and I'm going to tell him to suck it up. And we do it to joke around with each other, to get each other to laugh, and to get each other to not cry, but to kind of pull you up out of that little fucking hole for a minute. You know what I mean? But it's, do what you need to do. You know what I mean? It's craziness to me. No, go ahead. It baffles me to stifle somebody's feelings that way and to shut them down and belittle them for having real raw emotions about their own humanity. Like, damn.
Yeah. Like trying to express how you're feeling. And then for somebody that's meant to be the focal point, the center of what your life at that point and everything that's going on. You're meant to be there for them. They're meant to be there for you. When you try and open up to them and they turn around and say, yeah, I got shit going on too. Or my shit's worse than yours. Or turns it into a competition. Or now's not really a good time. I'm busy. And I get it. It might be. You might be busy. It might be a bad time for you. But what that does is that says, oh, you don't care. Cool. I won't talk to you about it. And, you know, I know I'm pretty bad for it as well because, you know, the way my brain works, somebody says something, it reminds me of something and I have to get it out there and then otherwise it's gone forever. And I get it that some people's brains, you know, don't allow them to sit there quietly, but there's ways to get around that show you still care. And yeah, when that's not done, it just sort of makes you not want to open up about these things. And then that becomes so much more difficult, because then when you're in a bad mood, you're in your head, you're thinking and overthinking, and you're just having a shit day, and you get asked, what's wrong? Nothing.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yep. For me, I like to play video games. They're my escape from reality. So then that's what I would do, is rather than talk, I would just jump on video games and escape reality for a bit, just because. So in 2022, when I had to move into my own place with no internet for 3 weeks and couldn't play games online with Jake and Tom, shit was pretty bad. Now, don't get me wrong, Assassin's Creed, great fucking games. But when that's literally all you can play, it was, it was tough. When you're walking along your path of life and you come across a fucking ditch and there is somebody sat at the bottom of the ditch, don't be one of those dickheads that just sort of peers over and goes, you good? I'll go see if I can find help, and never do. The stuff that I've gone through is giving me the perspective of being able to jump down into that ditch with that person. And I may not know how to get us both out of it, but hey, at least we're not down here alone. I'll sit with you until we both fucking figure it out.
And honestly, Connor, that's beautiful, because the other thing to that is they're not alone down there and you're not alone up there, because you can absolutely be alone on the top side too. And at least you are together. So like I said, and that goes back, some of the people you think that are right on the top, they're not. They're rock bottom, and it's all a show. Robin
Williams, biggest fucking case of that. Like, one of the funniest men. He would light up a room, and he just wants to make people laugh because he knows how it feels to feel shit.
Yeah. That was his whole point, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was looking up a stat too, because you're getting one from the UK. It was just kind of interesting. It's from Healthline, healthline.com. So August 4th of 2023, men make up around 50% of the U.S. population that comprise nearly 80% of suicides. 80% of suicides in America are teenage to adult males. Hello, there's a problem. You know what I mean? And I don't want to stir up shit, but man, I tell you, I'll say this quickly and we'll move on. But if that coin was flipped, there would be a lot more about that. There was a comedian that said, Father's Day is the worst holiday.
Oh, yeah.
And if you go look at any list of ranked holidays and look how low on that list Father's Day is. Mother's Day is right up there, man. Mother's Day is a huge holiday. In the US, at least, it's up there with Christmas, Thanksgiving. And then Father's Day is like 19th. Like the what? You know, it's just like, why? So to add to a man's already less, the self-worth is already dropped. It's like, oh, I don't even mean shit as a dad either. So go back to Dax's song, To Be a Man. Listen to that if you haven't, people. It's a lot of what we're talking about.
My ex forgot Father's Day one year.
Jeez.
I was sat right next to her. We were watching CBeebies and they were talking about Father's Day. He went, why didn't you tell me? One thing I do want to say is part of the reason that this started was obviously because Matt and I started talking. We started taking the piss out of each other. Off the back of that, we started talking a bit more in earnest, and we started actually finding out we had a lot in common. And like Matt said earlier, those private conversations that we have in the background, they are heartfelt, they are serious. But what I find is that they are always accompanied with humor. And that is by far and away the best thing for me. I mean, it might not work for everyone. I think it's Daniel Sloss, great comedian. Go check him out if you haven't. I think he says, laughter is not the opposite of sadness. Laughter can exist in both happiness and sadness. Laughter is a human emotion, and to move that into mental health, I think it's one of the best ways to help yourself get out of that mindset and realize that things will look up. Things do get better. Whether it be enough time has passed that it's no longer an issue, whether it be that enough time has passed for you to sort of, not necessarily, I think, am I really going to quote Doctor Strange? I think it's Doctor Strange. You can't beat your demons, you just learn how to rise above them. Something like that, I think, is the Doctor Strange quote. And it's fucking true, because some things won't go away, but you learn how to deal with them better. And sometimes they'll crop up, but by then you've got your coping mechanisms. By then you've got your way of dealing with it, not suppressing it, but minimizing the effect that it has on your day-to-day, whether it be chatting to good friends, whether it be starting a podcast where you chat shit for an hour and a half and have a laugh and spread that on the internet for others to just distract themselves. That's one of the key driving factors for this, is that you can just stick us on in the car on Spotify, and hopefully the laughs transpire as much as they do on YouTube, because everybody needs a fucking break. That's one thing I've learned in my however long I've been alive amount of years.
Nobody cares. So I can't help myself. This is DYSS. I'm really trying. But he's right.
Sweating.
This is how we take care of it, right? It is the humor and all of that. And to go back real quickly before we move on here, why do you think we reference so many comedians? Where do you think that comedy comes from in some of your most favorite comedians? It comes from a dark place. Self-deprecating humor is my favorite. Why? Because it's 100%. How I deal with how I really feel. Is I make fun of it and I joke about it, and that's not for everybody. But or you listen to a podcast, or you play video games. One of my favorites, and then we can move on here, is Tom Hanks. And if you guys haven't seen the roundtables that the actors do and they talk about acting and certain things, Tom Hanks has one of my favorite things of all time. And he says, and it's just very simple, this too shall pass. Yeah. Which means you're having a shit day, a shit time, everything in your life is feeling down. This too shall pass. You're having the best time of your life. Everything's going right for you. Everything's great. Mm-hmm. This too shall pass. Know that time really does move everything along. Sometimes it feels like time has stopped and you're stuck in this place, but time is still moving forward. And then having good friends and people to help you along with that is a great way to deal with it.
Coming back to what you said, actually, about self-deprecating humor and laughter, and you and I had the callback for Reggie. Before we did that, we were fucking around with some scripts, trying to hone in on emotion, and the script that I end up doing, one of Joe Mackenzie's, The Rogue, I think it is. It's on his TikTok. Go find it. It's a great fucking challenge, great script. Especially when you really get into the fucking emotions of it. And this is where it became abundantly clear, if it wasn't already, that laughter is my coping mechanism, because it's a very emotionally driven script, and I just burst out laughing whilst doing it, because that's how I would deal with the emotion. So that's how the character dealt with the emotion. So laughter is key in all aspects, whether you're fucking on cloud nine, whether you are deep down in that trench by the side of the road. Laugh. And like Matt said, this too shall pass. It really will. Things will be all right in the end. And if they ain't all right, it ain't the end.
I like that. It's a very, very good statement. I like that quite a bit, which I'm sure is not your original quote, but I don't
know where it's from, but I'm going to take credit. So.
Okay, so we have talked about a great number of things in different range and all of that when it concerns men's mental health, and we want to do more than just talk about it and spread that awareness. We actually want to create some action in that too. So each, Connor and I, have chosen a charity that we would like to go with. I'm going to talk about mine first. It's called the Face It Foundation. When I was really looking up and doing the information and the research on this, there's so much action involved. There are classes at different levels that you can take. And it's ongoing. It's not just take a couple classes, deal with your mental health and move on. This is ongoing training, courses, education. There's online stuff. There's a lot of materials, and they will actually move with you on taking action in your life and changing habits if you need to, or whatever you need to do to better address your mental health and try to make that a success. And not a failure. And they are focused and very open about the fact that, the things that we talked about and how unfortunate it is, how most of these situations end. It's what we're really trying to prevent, right? Is like Connor said, pull somebody out of that ditch. And that's what these guys are here to do. And like I said, the research that I've done, just pretty phenomenal foundation. So faceitfoundation.org if you would like to look at more of that. And Connor, go right ahead.
The charity for me is Combat Stress. I am a veteran. I spent 10 years in the army as a medic and only really became aware of combat stress in the later years of my career in the army. The work they do is phenomenal. Combat stress helps to deal with, it is more focused to the mental health side of things. Obviously, PTSD is rife in the army, but they don't just deal with the big things. They also help deal with what may be perceived by the wider audience as the smaller things. But what I have learned is everything's in perspective. Like, there's been times where people have tried to talk to me about what's going on in their life, and they go, you know what, don't worry about it. What you've got going on is far worse than what I've got going on. I'm like, yeah, but it's relative. Like, my shit is my shit. Doesn't have any impact on how your shit is making you feel. Like, by all means, talk to me about it. And in fact, I'll say that now. By all means, talk to me about it. Just another quick fucking segue, real quick. Sorry, Jake, a bit more editing. But my DMs, my messages are always open for anyone that's ever fucking struggling, because I know how shit it can be. I might not be able to offer the solutions. I might not be able to offer the advice, but I'll fucking listen. You ain't got to do it alone. If you ain't got anyone else to turn to, fuck it, turn to me. Anyway, Combat Stress. They are the UK's leading veterans mental health charity. The work they do is really, is life-saving. The amount of people that they've helped is fantastic. I've wanted to do something for them for quite some time, just not really had the opportunity or the ideas to. So combatstress.org.uk is where their website is at if you want to go give them a check out. But yeah, if you could donate anything to them, that would be fucking fantastic.
Yes, and if you would like to donate to either, we will have a JustGiving link that you guys can choose. And if you would like to donate, then you can let us know which charity you would like to donate to. Obviously, if you're over in the UK, that one might make a little bit more sense. And then same thing if you're over here in the US. But if you would like to donate to either, to both, you're helping people everywhere, and that is just a phenomenal thing to do. All the joking we do, we really do care about helping people out. And this is a very 100%. Sensitive subject, obviously, to Connor and I, and we believe in it. So, and Jake has feelings too. He just has that.
They're just buried under the fucking mask of no emotion.
It's been 30 years in the making.
And you've done a phenomenal job, sir. But let's try to get some emotion on that face. We're gonna put Jake through the ringer, get him voice acting at some point. Whether he knows it or not.
No, you won't.
Yes.
No, I've tried.
No, it's gonna happen.
We don't need. No.
I have a light goal now. That's gonna bucket list. Get Jake on a project. Okay, great.
A bucket list or a fuck it list?
Yep.
Hey.
We're going to play a game where we are going to take turns to read quotes, or where Jake is going to read quotes.
No.
Where we take turns to read quotes. Now you go.
Steal. All right. So Connor couldn't do that. I'm going to steal this one. So we are going to play a game where we have quotes given to us by Jake, and we have to guess the film, the year, and the actor. And we are going to go for a maximum of 3 points. We each have trusty writing devices, and we will be showing those on the screen, and we will see who wins.
Don't forget to play along at home.
Please do. Comment your answers, and we'd like to see how everybody did down in the YouTube comments. That would be fantastic.
Okay, so I'm going to send the first one to Connor.
I live my life a quarter mile at a time.
Write your answers and tell me when you're ready.
Oh, God, how do you spell it?
Show your boards in 5,
I'm ready.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh.
We said the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one brain cell we share, fucking really.
Right here.
So it was indeed The Fast and the Furious. It was Vin Diesel. It was 2001.
Oh. I had it there the whole time. Me first. Me first.
Yeah, it's a 1. How can you not see that's a 1?
It was always a 1. What do you mean?
Okay, Matt, your quote.
Nobody makes me bleed my own blood. Nobody.
Michelle.
10, 9,
I can't
hell.
write that quick, Jake.
7,
I'm brain farting badly.
6, 5,
No.
4, 3,
I-
2,
Fuck.
1. Show your boards.
That is a
Okay.
5.
Stiller 06 I have, and I forgot it was fucking Dodgeball. God damn it, I could have
Okay,
figured it in.
so the film is Dodgeball. The actor is Ben Stiller, and the year is 2004.
Shit.
Matt, you're on 3 points, and Con, you're on 4.
Suck it, bitch.
That's fine.
Sorry. I get competitive. I get really competitive.
Fucking relax, dude. Jesus Christ.
No, I need to win. Remember the intro? I need a win.
That's right.
Just give me
I'm
something.
letting Connor win. That's what that is. He
No,
needs
you did
something,
not.
even if it's a shit game that means nothing. He needs something.
Don't do this to me.
Next quote coming in.
Oh. I have had it with these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Show your boards.
Angles. Ooh.
So you're both correct on Snakes on a Plane.
Yeah.
It was Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah, I just put Sam
And-
Jackson. I hope that's fine.
I get a bit more points for the full name.
Shut the fuck up, you bitch. What's the year, Jake?
2006.
Oh, I was closer.
Ah. You don't get a point for closer.
Matt, your quote is inbound.
Time for the steal.
I thought I'd throw a bit of a harder one in there. You'll know the quote.
You sure did. Look at me. I'm the captain now. I know nothing about what this quote is. Fuck. Are we out of time?
Why not? 3,
Doesn't matter. Nope.
3, 2,
I got a year.
1. He's got a year.
Captain Phillips.
Okay, so Con, you get 1 point. It was indeed, the film was Captain Phillips. The actor, sorry if I absolutely butcher this name, Barkhad Abdi, and the year was 2013.
That long ago?
Yeah.
I will fully admit,
Jesus.
I didn't even know that was the thing.
Connor, your quote,
Yes.
inbound. This one should be a bit easier. It's going to be a year thing again.
Oh, fucking. Are you not entertained? Oh, wait, shit, actor. I think I.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Show your boards.
Oh,
Fuck, that's in like 3 different movies. It is goddamn Gladiator. Fuck.
Okay, so, yep, it is Russell Crowe. It is Gladiator. And the year was 2000. Matt, your quote is true.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Show your board.
Who's L? DeGeneres.
E-L-L-E.
That's a long ass name.
It is. It is. Don't mind my handwriting. Fuck you. There's a
Who
reason
the
why I'm
fuck is
like that.
Dahl? Dahl
There's nothing-
Ellinger. That's what your board says.
Hey.
Dahl Ellinger.
I mean,
Leave my handwriting
That
alone.
Sorry, come on. Yeah,
What do we got, Jake?
the film was Finding Nemo.
Thank you.
Oh, yep.
The actress was Ellen DeGeneres. And the year was 2003. You guys are so out. So that's 1 point for Matt because all he put was Dory. And
Hey,
Tom is now on.
that's Dory's fault and his fault because that's all I can think of. Sorry, Dory, we love you.
We do love you, Dory, and I'm sorry for not paying attention.
Connor, you've got the longest quote there is.
Makes
oh man,
sense.
this is like a while to read.
Oh, jeez, dude. Oh, fuck it. Okay, hold on. Oh, do I have the voice? I don't think I have the voice. I don't know who you are. I don't know what you want. If you're looking for ransom, I can tell you I don't have money. But what I do have are a very particular set of skills. Skills I have acquired over a very long career. Skills that make me a nightmare for people like you. If you let my daughter go now, that'll be the end of it. I will not look for you. I will not pursue you. But if you don't, I will look for you. I will find you. And I will kill you. Whilst he's asleep, let me get these points in.
2, 1,
No!
3, 2, 1.
Apparently, I'm sticking with 2011.
Oh, so it is Liam Neeson. It is taken. None of you are that close. It's 2008.
Fuck!
06 is close, to be fair.
I was
I'll put
06.
Matt-
Don't get a
I was
chance of
there.
being closer.
I mean, it's literally impossible for Matt to win now.
What the fuck are we playing for?
So I can annihilate you.
Keep that in mind because there's going to be a live disc sparring match, and then we'll see who annihilates who. Train yourself to let go of everything you fear to lose.
Oh no, I'll go so left field with this one. Fuck it.
5, 4, 3,
Fuck it.
2, 1. Show your boards.
I didn't put a date because I didn't have time, but.
Struggle with that one, then, boys, yeah?
That one was tough. I put Jackie Chan from Karate Kid because I'm fucking.
So
Clearly.
the film was from 2002.
Hmm.
It's our favorite little short green guy.
See, I put
It was-
2002.
Yeah, sure you did. Star
If you
Wars
tell me
Episode
it's
2.
Yoda,
It's Star
Mhm.
Wars Episode 2, Yoda, played by. Does anyone know that? I'll give a bonus question. Bonus point.
no. But
Frank
if you
Oz.
give me 2 minutes, I might be able to remember. Hold on.
Yeah. Extra light shines on your face.
No, it doesn't.
So whoever wins gets to sign out the game. So, Con, over to you.
The who? The her. What's that quote, bitch?
First of all, if you did it right, because it's not an I love you on the head, it's an L, you jackass.
Oh, I'm British. My pinky likes to come out. All right.
And it's Ace Ventura, Pet Detective. Thank you very much. Jim Carrey. And I believe that was
Oh, go on.
98? 99?
Whilst Jake has a little look for that, Matt, you played poorly. Your movie trivia sucks, and I am just better. That was a good game. I hope you guys enjoyed playing along with us at home. If you did, if not, then fucking why not? And next time you play this game, make sure you do. If you did play along with us, make sure you comment your scores down below, and we shall see who gets the best score overall, shall we? Me. I do just want to get a real quick disclaimer in. If you have found this a difficult watch, if this has made you think about anything, do make sure you reach out to people that care about you, and I guarantee there are. And if you don't think they can help, then make sure you reach out to get help. You know, charities and avenues might be slightly difficult and they might be slow to respond, but that's because finally people are realizing that it is good to reach out So although it's a bit shit that you have to wait, it's also kind of a good thing that you have to wait, because it means that other people are getting their shit together as well. And if we can build a better society for everyone to live in, that everybody cares about everyone just that little bit more, then I call that a win. If you have been affected and you do want to talk to anyone, like I said, my messages are always open. Feel free to reach out to me. Not that I can do much, but I will listen. And yeah, make sure you look after yourselves, people. Please. That is all. Serious stuff over. Matt, you're a dick.
Every time I go to say something nice.
Are you going to do it again?
Every single time I go to say something nice, you have to insult me. So no nice things.
Compliment sense.
Nice things for you guys. Please do reach out in all seriousness on that. And if you are reaching out and you cannot find anybody to talk to, you can reach out to me as well. Don't reach out to Jake. He doesn't care. But you can, but
Can confirm.
really reach out to somebody, call somebody, tell somebody. If you don't feel comfortable with doing that, find some way of getting that out. Con plays video games. A lot of us men play video games to find that escape. Write it down, even if nobody ever reads it again, including yourself. Get it out in some way while you are waiting to reach out and talk to one of these amazing organizations. But find somebody somewhere, because there are a lot of people out there that do give a shit.
The world is a better place with you in it, I promise you. Okay. This is your reminder to like, comment, subscribe. It really helps us in the algorithms, helps us get out there. And the more we get out there, the more we can do this and the more we can bring it to you guys. If you enjoy it, share it with your friends who you think might enjoy it. If you think there's something helpful in one of our episodes that somebody might need to hear, then share it with them as well. Point them to exactly where they need to go. Even if that's, you're a piece of shit, but I love you. Anyway.
Right,
unless Matt has anything.
The damn kids.
Diss you later.
Something. I don't know. Diss you later. Love you guys. Bye. Next time.
Love you, bye.
Love you, bye.
Not paying attention enough? Get yourself a Skippy bar, and then you won't feel as hungry and the focus will be there. Skippy.